Hey, what's up, everybody? It's another candle. Today I wanted to actually talk about this dream that I had last night, which was very different, to say the least. And I don't exactly understand it. And it's one of the reasons why sometimes I will post these dreams on my channel. That way I can get some of y'all's opinion. And just because a lot of times I may not understand it right away. So the odd thing is like in this dream, it was like I didn't really know what was going on, and then all of a sudden in my dream I became conscious to how would I explain it? I guess conscious to what was happening in the dream. Okay, so in my dream, and it more or less kind of, I became conscious and became able to remember what was happening in the dream and to kind of know. I'm gonna crack my window a little bit. It's hot today. I usually try not to, that way I can keep some of the noise from the air down, but good grief, it's hot today. So I was at Walmart, and there was a giant that was following me around, and honestly, it seemed rather friendly, I guess you could say, like maybe as if it was trying to play itself off as being a friend. And it was tall. I could put it at least around 13, 14, somewhere around there, feet tall, quite large. It was not really like buff, I guess you could say. He didn't seem skinny. He just seemed, elongated. Like, he definitely had a decent muscle structure. Sorry, I got an eyelash or something bothering me. He definitely had a decent muscle structure. It was just that where he was so tall, it didn't look like he was like, really stocky, I guess would be the word to say. And like I said, he was following me around, not really doing anything that didn't seem friendly. He didn't seem like he was aggressive, but he kept messing with people that were around me. He wasn't exactly messing with me, but it was almost like he would ask for permission from me, and essentially, I don't remember ever giving him permission to do things, but I do remember that if I didn't say no, then he would go ahead and do it. And like I said, he was tall, but his head wasn't exactly like really big per se. All of us have kind of a decent amount of width to our heads. His head seemed like thinner on the sides and kind of longer, like front to back, than a human's head naturally is. He had very pronounced cheekbones, and his skin was like a light pink color, like not like vibrant pink, but like the color of your lip. You could see how my lips are kind of that pinkish skin color. It was like that. Obviously, it wasn't the same color all over, all our skin. There's a difference between my cheeks and my forehead. So there was differences in the coloration. But just trying to describe to you more or less what he looked like. And he was wearing a black suit, essentially. But like not like a suit and tie kind of outfit, but like, it just looked like he had on black pants and a black overshirt with like a green undershirt. not this color of green, but like a, I don't know how to describe shades of color so well. Sorry. But essentially just a green undershirt. And like I said, he was following me around. And I remember at one point while I was in Walmart, I essentially turned to him and was like, hey, I want you to leave me alone. Like, I don't want you following me around. You keep messing with people the whole time that you're around me. So I'd like it if you could just leave me alone. And from there, his countenance got very irritated looking. Before, he didn't seem to have an issue. Like, he had this creepy kind of grin that he would have on. You know how that kind of grin people have whenever they want to, they want to mess with somebody. He had that kind of look about him. And like I said, when I said that, his countenance got very irritated. And I remember that he began to follow me more closely. And there was a couple of people with me there at Walmart. I don't know exactly who they were. But I remember, like, just dropping whatever it was I was doing. And I was like, come on, guys, let's go outside. We got to try to get away from this guy. And so we went outside. And I remember it was like he was telling me to get into a vehicle. Essentially, kind of like saying, like, if I want to leave, then I need to get into a vehicle and just leave. But for some reason, I wouldn't. Like I said, I'm telling you what happened in the dream. I was conscious for it, but I didn't start being able to make decisions in my dream until just a little bit later in. So for some reason, I wouldn't get into a car to leave. But he really wanted me to. I remember walking down towards the end of the parking lot, and he followed me down there. And at that point, I got to where I was kind of angry with him. And if I remember right, we tried to jump on like a moped, and we were gonna try to drive away. Now, for some reason, instead of driving out of the parking lot and leaving, we drove up towards the side of Walmart. And I do remember that, even though we gained speed, he could pretty easily jog and keep up with us. And I remember as we tried to drive away and continued telling him that he needed to leave us alone, he got more angry. And then at this point, a car passed him in the parking lot, and he reached down and picked up the car, and he just squished it. And the people inside of the car, they began to scream whenever he picked it up, and then whenever he squished it, I guess something in the engine exploded, because there was fire all of a sudden came out from the engine. And the people stopped screaming, so I assumed that they were dead. And at this point in the dream was whenever I essentially kind of took control of what was happening. As in, like, my decision-making part of my brain kind of turned on at this point in the dream, instead of just letting things ride. So I do remember that I tried to get up on top of some bushes. Don't ask me why I could stand up on top of bushes in my dream. I don't know. But for some reason, I could stand up on top of this hedge. Now, if you know our local Walmart, some of you guys won't necessarily know what I'm talking about here. But if you know our local Walmart, you'll know that there's a hedgerow that's right down past the gas station. That's the hedgerow I went and got up on top of. And at this point, I was frustratedly, like, screaming down at him. I was yelling at him and screaming at him that he needed to just leave everybody alone and to go on. It was at this point in time that I looked over while I was screaming at him, and he was walking towards me. This time he had a very menacing smile as he was walking towards me, and he was starting to reach his hand out towards me. And I remember hearing something happening on the highway, and I looked back, and there were more of them, and they looked just like him. Same clothes, same skin color, same head shape, all of it. And they were attacking and smashing many of the cars that were down on the highway. People were screaming and freaking out. At this point, I ended up running back up towards the side of Walmart, because if I remember right, that's where the people that I was with, that's where they were at. And when I went down to that hedgerow, I was trying to like get the giant away from them so that I could deal with him myself. So I went back to them, and I was trying to figure out in my head, I was like, I can't outrun him. I can't overpower him. And I didn't know what to do. Now, this part here is a little bit different. And I like I said, I still don't exactly understand this, but as he began to walk up and approach to us, somehow I opened like a home screen in my vision, like it like popped up in my sight. The type of home screen it would be, if you have an Xbox, which I do, you can hit the home button and it'll pull up, this little page, and it'll say, home, games and apps, blah blah blah, as it goes down. And I remember mentally selecting the home button. It did not do anything. And the giant laughed at me. And then he said, "What are you going to do about all of these?" And as he said all of these, I noticed many smaller creatures, humanoid looking creatures. Some of them had like the tops of their skulls were like flattened out and wide, and their skin was more of like a yellowish color, kind of like sand, and their eyes were glowing a yellow color. Many of them had very sharp teeth, and they were showing their teeth and snarling and stuff like that. And I remember I laughed back at him, and I said, "Guess what? I'm closing this." And that menu, like in my vision, popped back up, and I selected exit. And when I did that, nothing like disappeared or nothing like that at first, but the giant essentially said, "What do you think that did?" And I said, "What do you think?" I stopped the game. And I ran over to him, and I punched him, and I didn't make connection with anything, because the moment that I touched him, he just disappeared, essentially, into like a dark mist. He basically kind of like evaporated into a dark mist. The other creatures that were around that he had pointed out, they came running at me. There was only 2 or 3 of them. There wasn't that many, but they came running at me, and I remember I struck them just the same as I struck the giant, and in the same manner, although the giant took took more time to disappear. He took like 3 or 4 seconds to fully evaporate. The little creatures that were trying to come at me, as soon as I had touched them, they evaporated too. Hey, sorry. I had to cut the other part that I made because it was the end of the video, because I had forgotten something. So I'm going to clip that down and I'm going to insert this part in there. At the end of my dream, before everything kind of faded out, there was a woman. It was one of those people that was with me, and in a way, in the face, kind of looked like my wife, but kind of not. I don't know how really to describe it, because it gave me the feeling like, like I knew this person very well, but then at the same time I couldn't exactly recognize their face. But I do remember that I after all of the giant and the creatures disappeared, I remember walking over towards the sidewalk at the not at the entrance of Walmart, but at the side of Walmart, and I laid down on the ground. And I remember that whoever she was, she walked over and she leaned down, she knelt down, and she kissed me on my lips. And it wasn't like a romantic kind of kiss though. I don't know, there was something that felt different about it. I don't know how to explain that exactly. Like how it felt, because it didn't feel like it was like a, hey, I'm gonna kiss you on the lips to be romantic. It felt more like, I don't know how to explain it. It felt more like a type of a kiss of comfort in a way. Like I said, I don't really know how to explain that part either, because it felt not like weird in a bad way, but it just felt very different. Like I didn't understand what was going on or why she had leaned over to kiss me like that. So like my other video was saying at the end of it, that pretty much was it. There wasn't a whole lot of anything else happened in my dream. I'm pretty sure I woke up right there at the end, and I don't understand a whole lot of what's going on in this dream, but I do know it's been a while since I've had a vivid dream that I can actually remember what was happening in the dream. It's been many months since I've had a dream I can remember. So I wanted to share this, that way you guys could possibly put your opinion in on it. What do you think may have been happening in this dream? And I also want to encourage you guys that, if you have any dreams that are different and are vivid, you should try to, if you can, compile it into a video format and put it out there. Maybe it is important. Maybe somebody might know something more about it. And at the same time, I would encourage you guys that if you have a testimony of any kind, to put your testimony in a video and share that around, because testimonies are a very important witness as to what God does in our lives. And it's very important for people, that may not want to sit and listen to some Bible verses, but they might listen to your story, what's happened to you. So I appreciate you guys if you've made it this far in the video. If you like the video, make sure to put a like on it, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. I pray that God blesses you and that He leads you in His way. And I also would like to ask of God that if there is someone out there that knows what this dream might mean, that He could reveal it to them and have them share to me what the meaning could be. I hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm going to get to work, and hopefully I'm going to have a good day. I only got 2 days left, and then I'll be done down here, and I'll be going somewhere else to work. But like I said, you guys just let me know, and I hope y'all have a great day. We'll see you later.